Okay, let's unpack this. The whole global manufacturing scene, it's really going through a massive shakeup, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You've got AI speeding things up, lots more automation, and this huge new focus on making supply chains tougher, more resilient.
Right. And for you, our listener, we're doing a deep dive today specifically on India's part in all this change. It's quite an ambitious journey they're on.
We'll be looking at how India, which, is the fastest growing major economy right now, is trying to position its manufacturing sector.
And we'll explore its unique path, maybe some surprising wins, and also the challenges that keep popping up.
Yeah, and we've got a good stack of sources here, analyses, government reports, comparative stuff, basically trying to pull out the key nuggets for you.
Okay, so where it gets really interesting, I think, is India's economic story. They largely jumped, didn't they? Straight from farming to a services economy.
That's right. They kind of leapfrogged that long industrialization phase that places like, say, China or South Korea went through. Very different starting point.
Yet, despite that, they're now what? The world's fifth largest manufacturer by output value?
Correct, fifth largest. But, and this is the fascinating part, manufacturing only makes up about 15.9% of India's GDP.
Which is way off their own target, right? Wasn't it 25%?
Exactly. They set this ambitious 25% goal. So being fifth largest sounds great, but that 15.9% figure shows that manufacturing isn't quite the economic engine yet that it is in, say, Germany or China. There's a depth issue.
It highlights that services foundation you mentioned. So how have policies tried to bridge that gap? Did the big, broad pushes work?
Well, that's a key point. Broad initiatives, like the big Make in India campaign, they have these huge ambitions, but struggle to really hit those specific targets. Maybe too wide, too complex to implement effectively across the board.
Okay, so the broad approach wasn't the silver bullet.
Not really.
Yeah.
But where they have seen real tangible results is with a more, let's say, surgical approach. Specifically, these targeted production-linked incentive schemes, the PLI schemes.
Ah, the PLIs. Right. Heard a lot about those. What's the magic there? Why did they work?
It's basically about rewarding specific actions. They offer incentives based on increases in sales of products made right there in India. So it directly encourages companies, both domestic and foreign, to either set up shop or expand their manufacturing in India.
Got it. So targeted rewards for actual production increases. Any standout examples?
Oh, definitely. Mobile phones are the poster child. India went from being a big net importer of mobiles to a net exporter.
Wow.
Yeah, just under that PLI scheme, by late 2024, they generated something like $61.7 billion in exports.
Yeah.
And created over 1.15 million jobs just in that one area.
That's genuinely impressive. Shows what targeted policy can do.
It really does. Specificity seems key.
But, okay, stepping back from those specific wins, the bigger picture still has challenges, right? I'm thinking infrastructure issues, red tape, regulatory hurdles.
Absolutely. Those persist.
And especially, what about tech adoption, particularly among the smaller guys, the MSMEs, the micro, small, medium enterprises?
That's a huge one. These MSMEs, they're critical. Like you said, they contribute around 36% of manufacturing output, employ maybe 75 million people. They're the backbone, really.
So if they're lagging on tech, how do you modernize the whole sector? How do you compete globally?
That is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Reports show their average digital maturity is pretty low, maybe like 2.4 on a 5-point scale.
Ouch. So they're not really ready for smart factories or integrated supply chains?
Not broadly, no. It limits their competitiveness massively. The reasons are varied. Lack of awareness sometimes, the cost of new tech. Definitely a skills gap, too.
But India does have some big things going for it, opportunities.
Immense opportunities. You've got this massive young workforce, the famous demographic dividend. Huge potential there if they can be skilled up.
And the digital infrastructure, things like the digital payment system everyone talks about.
Exactly. That digital public infrastructure is robust. Think UPI Aadhaar. That could be a massive advantage for streamlining supply chains, bringing transparency, even helping MSMEs access finance or new markets. It's a potential game changer.
Okay, so let's look outwards for a second. Globally, manufacturing leaders are not standing still. You mentioned China.
Right. Made in China 2025. All about moving up the value chain. Self-sufficiency in high tech.
Germany.
Industry 4.0. Smart connected factories. Plus, their vocational training system is world-class, feeding skilled workers into manufacturing.
Japan, too, always strong on R&D, robotics, automation.
And the overall trend is clear. One stat suggested, 89% of global manufacturers plan to integrate AI into their production. The push towards advanced tech is relentless.
So with India's unique path, its MSME challenge, but also its digital strengths and young population, how does it compete in that kind of world? Can it catch up? Or does it do something different?
Well, this is where the idea of leapfrogging comes back in,
Yeah.
potentially.
Skipping steps again.
Kind of. Instead of just replicating the old industrial model slowly, maybe India can leverage its digital savviness and that young workforce to jump straight into a more digitally native, smart manufacturing future.
So build the factory of the future now rather than evolving into it.
That's a potential, yeah. It would mean, though, really aggressive support for those MSMEs to adopt tech, tackling the cost barriers, the skills gaps head on.
And massive workforce training for AI-driven manufacturing.
Massive. Plus, continuing those targeted policies like PLI that have shown promise, it's about building a different kind of industrial base, perhaps.
It's a really fascinating picture. India trying to build this manufacturing powerhouse, but very much on its own terms, using its unique digital strengths.
Focusing on targeted growth, aiming for resilience for innovation. It's quite the strategic play.
So here's something for you, our listener, to maybe mull over. What does it actually look like for a country to build its manufacturing future, not by copying the past, but by trying to leapfrog directly into those digital connected factories we're all starting to imagine? Really something to think about.